They love the way we sound, the way we review, so turn up your sound, cause here comes the most badass talent to review
Central Game Review.
That's what we do when we start. Review games whether they're good or not. From the graphics to gameplay, beginning with a plot. Nothing will stop us from reaching the top. 500 subs in less than 3 days. These motherfucking idiots thinking it's just a phase. We suffer through damnation and even haze, but we come through cause we here to stay. The story is, well, there is no story in this game. Basically, when you click on story mode or whatever, you go into like this tournament mode where basically it's the same no matter what. And you pick your team of characters. You go through, I think, like 6 stages or 8 stages, and that's it. There is no story mode. There's nothing to talk about because there is no story mode. There's no characters and no characters talking to each other. You don't know who these characters are. And sure, it's a fighting game, so I won't give it any lower than a 5. But I mean, games like Street Fighter, even Virtual Fighter, Dead or Alive, and especially BlazBlue, they all have stories where this one has shit. So they really needed to have some type of story or some kind of background for the story.
The graphics of King of Fighters are actually pretty below average in my opinion. I mean, they were kind of keeping it retro with like very few polygons on the characters and they look very pixelated. And I can understand that going for retro look, but the graphics just look so bad and shady that it makes me feel like that I was playing a 1980s fighter rather than playing a modern fighter such as a beautiful game like Street Fighter. I mean, the graphics just for me, they were just very poor. I mean, the animations were surprisingly pretty good, and just the graphics, they were just really bland and just not there.
I mostly agree. I really don't like the pixelated look. I mean, I know they didn't want to do that on purpose. I hear that it looks a lot better on arcades, but when you look at it, and it's just not very well done. But I do like the design of a lot of the characters, especially the main character. I always forget his name, but overall, most of the designs are at least somewhat unique, and this is like the 12th one in the series. Well, it is the 12th, so I mean, these guys came before most of the characters you see in fighters now, and a lot of the characters now take, you know, these characters and build upon them. But overall, the graphics, besides the environments and the animations, really does nothing to, like, they really could have just done better, especially looking at Street Fighter.
So, King of Fighters, it's pretty much just your basic fighting game. You have, you know, kicks, punches, blocks, dashing, jumping, and girls, and yeah, I guess that's about it.
What's different about a lot of fighting games compared to this one is that they bring back the 3 vs 3 thing, which I think is nice because you get a whole team of characters and you can pick weaknesses and all that from each character. And also they introduced this critical counter thing where if you time it right and you're low on health, you'll do like this special thing where the guy goes dazed and you just like beat the living shit out of him. And then they got the guard attack where basically same thing as that except it's a one-time hit. So if you guard at the exact moment, you'll hit the opponent away. And then they have a clash system, which is basically like a kind of like a Dragon Ball Z thing where if you both hit at the same time, it'll like block each other's moves out. I'm not really sure why that's in the game. It doesn't really do anything. I would just rather whoever hits first. But anyway, the point is that it's there, and I guess it makes it look more like a fighting game. But overall, the engine is the same as every other fighting game, and it really doesn't try to do anything new. I don't know how much more you can do with a fighting game, but they took out a lot of characters from the older games, and well, I didn't care that much because I don't really like fighting games too much. I'm sure a lot of fans are disappointed. But overall, I mean, the fighting works, and it is pretty good, but it doesn't really do anything for people that really don't like fighting games, so I think they kind of have to work on that.
Yeah, I agree, because I'm not a big fan of fighting games either, and it was just kind of, meh.
For enjoyment, I mean, the game does offer an online mode, which you can fight 3 versus 3. You can be in a room where, you know, tournament kind of thing. But the online is just very basic. The game itself is so basic. There's really nothing else but online and fighting. And I said in story part of this, there is no story. So really, overall, this game just doesn't do anything that would kind of make, you know, non-fighting fans want to pick it up. And it's just really raw and basic, and there's a lot better fighting games out there, I have to say, and I'm not even a big fighting fan. So overall, I was pretty disappointed, and I would not put $60 down on this ever again.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I don't like, you know, fighting games either, and it didn't really bring anything to the table. It's basic. Street Fighter 4 is better. Yeah, it's not worth $60.
Yeah.
I just did not enjoy it. I wouldn't say I wouldn't enjoy it at all, but I think it was a very below average put together fighter, and the combos are almost fucking impossible to pull off. The character design, I think it just looks pretty retarded. The animations, like I said, are beautiful looking, but overall I didn't have fun because the moves were hard to do. And I tried a couple matches online, and it just wasn't fun. I just wasn't feeling this. But I mean, I wanted this to be a contender for Street Fighter 4, you know, because I love it so much. But I ended up being really disappointed with this one.
You probably pick up Street Fighter, which is now $40, by the way. Come to my store, and also BlazBlue or BlazBlue, whatever I would say is better.
It's got no replay value.
Yeah, this one really doesn't. Unless you want to play online, but even that kind of gets boring after the 3rd or 4th match. I mean, I lost 50 times in a row, but that's different.
There's that one character that's really overpowered. Looks like a girl. What's a guy?
Which one? There's like 2 of those. The one with the nails or the other one?
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, the one with the nails. Yeah.
Nails, yeah. I don't like him too much. He's a little too cheap at times.
Or
I thought it was a girl. Okay.